Happy Black Friday, Internet. I hope you survived. I don't know if I'm actually, well, I guess if you're seeing this, I'm going to upload this. I'm not sure what my thoughts are. I really wanted to do a ring spinner week. So I kind of wanted to briefly talk about this, and then I kind of wanted to talk about the idea of ring spinners in general. But I may end up doing some other sort of video or something as well. I'm not sure what the rest of the week's going to bring, because right now it's Monday, so now I've got a lot of time for the rest of the week. Got a lot of time for the rest of the week on all my lunches and stuff to either do some other videos. I know there's going to be some good Black Friday deals coming out, so if you haven't looked, and stuff's been going on all week, the arrow spinners, which is, I'm really enjoying that bar spinner right now, is like 35% off. I think it's like 46 bucks on Amazon in the US, so 35% off of that. It's a pretty good deal. That's like, what, close to 17, 18 bucks off, for like really quick and dirty math in my head. Yeah, really good spinner. So if you're getting that sort of a deal for like right around 30 bucks, you gotta pick up an arrow spinner if you haven't. Really enjoy that guy. Again, I put a stone wash on it and enjoy it even more, but even the way it was out of the box, really enjoyed it. So definitely want to get yourself one of those. Yeah, there's so many. The Nautilus is still like 40% off, 50% off, which is crazy. It's 40 bucks for a Nautilus right now. They're going to be coming out with stainless steel, which I think is going to be a limited run. So I don't know when they're going to drop it, but be ready to jump on that. I think the people that miss out on that stainless steel Nautilus, I think, are going to be really sad. What else? The Random Fabrications Old Emerson, I believe, is going to have some stock for this week. And again, tri-portal and titanium is a must-have in my opinion. It is the tri-portal to own. It's the one you got to get, and especially even if it's not a deal on Black Friday, just if you can get it, to me that's like a deal, because some of his stuff, some of it seems to, some of the stainless steel tri-portals seem to be there a little bit, but I know a lot of people, I think, that really wanted them got in on the Indiegogo. But yeah, you got to get that titanium, man. I'm telling you what, if you can swing it, I mean, that's a grail for some, or grail cost anyway, grail status. But yeah, I got to get it. What else? Oh, I know Woosaw's got some stuff going on. I'm not even gonna remember everything. Premium Spinners has got some stuff, so there's some deals to be had. It's tough, because we got to start saving money for the holidays for other people. We can't just think about ourselves. But you got to take care of yourself too. So that's all I'm saying. So let's take a look at this real quick. It is I believe it's a little larger than an actual ring spin. And obviously the fit and finish, like you look at this, like this is a nicer clone of the clones that are out there. And I should have tried to tighten these screws down. I'm pretty sure they're tightened all the way down. But there's like a little bit of bearing play up and down here, like where it doesn't. Right, like you can see that right there. Yeah, we're getting it real good there. So that takes away from the spin a little bit, but not all that much, all things considered. And again, we've never been like anti-clone here, but I've never really highlighted one that's quite such a blatant, obvious clone. But it's Ring Spinner Week, and I got it from Daily Fidget's Got Talent, so I appreciate that. Nice little slug, which again, being 17 millimeter, will plug right into this guy here if you wanted to do such a thing. This is from PCC Team. I don't know where to get it. I don't think I'm going to post a link to it because, to be honest, I don't really want to promote clones. If you really want it, you can go out and find it. I don't have anything against them per se, because I think the people that buy this aren't going to be buying a Steel Flame anyway, but I just don't want to whole hog endorse it in terms of like, here's where you can go and rip someone else's design off. But again, it was a gift, and I kind of like the design of this actually quite a bit, and as I've been rocking ring spinners, I'm enjoying it a little bit more. So this is definitely not a ring spinner that you can just kind of throw on. This isn't designed to be a casual ring spinner, but what it does is with these big old cubes on the end here, really allows you to really throw this thing about. Get some pretty decent gyroscopic effect. I think because that bearing's so loose, it kind of loses some of that gyroscopic effect, but you really can throw this bad boy around. Which is satisfying. You really get, a lot of ring spinners sometimes lack those longer arms and those faster feeling speeds that this guy does not. So it kind of makes me want to get a real Steel Flame at some point. And I feel like my collection at some point needs one, but I just can't justify the money on them. Even they're really starting to come down now a bit. But I just can't justify like a plain spinner for like 400 bucks. So, like the Steel Flames, if you get like a plain one, not with anything too crazy, it's still like 400 bucks is my point. I'd want something that felt special, not getting one just to get one. And then at that point, they're also much bigger money. Much more monies. So apologize for any Steel Flame fans that are upset about this, but I just want to say, like, I think it's a great design, and it's fun to fidget with. So we'll put that out of the way now. So ring spinners. Kind of crazy, this whole different type of thing, yet whole very similar, strange, familiar kind of a thing, right? Especially with buttons on them. I don't think I've actually shown this, so let me show you what we did here. on the Van Pelt. They reached out to me, but I still haven't gotten my replacement yet, and I guess that's probably the most negative thing I can say about Van Pelt, sadly, is that sometimes their fulfillment is pretty far behind. A lot of times you can get that stuff pretty quick, but sometimes it can take a long time to get stuff from them. But they're busy people with lives, so I get that, but at the same time, if this is going to be part of your business, to a certain degree, I don't care about your family as a consumer, right? Like, if I'm paying for something, I want to get it, if you're going to have a business and support that sort of thing. But at the same time, like, I get it. I'm busy. So I don't want to seem too critical. I don't want to make them feel bad, because we're not about that around here. But I basically just took a piece of paper. If you remember those little clips, those little tiny pieces of paper, I just took a larger one. I traced the outside of the bearing, and then I traced the inside of this. And then I kind of cut a little bit on the inside of each of those lines, knowing that obviously the lines would be a little larger. And then I colored it with Sharpie so that it didn't stand out, because I didn't want to see the paper in there, and I knew you would see it a little bit. So you hit it with Sharpie, and you're good to go. We'll put that back in there, and then everything is nice and snug. And then I did keep one piece of paper wedged in here so that this thing stayed tight, because when that was loose, it did just take some of it away from me. And because basically what happens is when I put that little bit of paper in there, the top plates aren't actually pinching the brass together. So when you tightened it down, it would kind of pinch on the brass. And then with that little bit of paper, it's not enough to really pinch and hold it still. So otherwise, it wouldn't be I didn't really need that paper on the brass ring, just so you know. But ring spinners, kind of a unique thing. I know some people really dig them. Some people are all about them. Some people just kind of have one. Some people just don't even care. But it's an interesting way to fidget. It's definitely a very non-intrusive into your like lifestyle. Like if I'm gonna have a spinner, I'm someone that's almost always got a spinner on me, and when I'm at home, I'm spinning them quite often. You know, I'm in there rocking and rolling on my spinners all the time. And sometimes it's just being a thing where I really want to spin it. And but you know, I've got other things I need to be doing. I need to be getting dinner ready. I need to be picking up, like literally picking kids up off the floor. Like I'm gonna pick my 3-year-old up because he wants me to put him on his shoulders and run around the house and flip him upside down, right? That's what dads are for. We're jungle gyms. We don't play with toys when I'm playing with my son. He just plays on me. Oh yeah, we haven't spun this all week yet, have we? That feels so good. Excuse me. For you guys, right, it's Friday. For me, I've been like talking for an hour and a half straight, so my throat's starting to feel it because it's cold outside. It's still dry, right? We're still 28 and snow showers. It's not cloudy, we're snow showering, right? It's getting even darker in here. Still snowing. Fourth wall break. Look, there it is. Recording to my lap on a sunscreen. And we're back. And we're back, internet. But yeah, when you have something like this, if I need to get this out of the way, especially the 17 millimeter sits there out of the way snug, I can still do things. If my son misbehaves, I can still hold this and smack him on the back of the head. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Although that did happen to me as a child. My dad had this big ring, flip it around, whack you when you misbehaved. Those were the days when you could strike your kids, right? In any event, don't comment on that down below. I mean, child abuse is like a real thing. I don't want to make light of that, but at the same time, even just like spanking and certain types of discipline, I think it's almost like a crutch if you're a parent where you kind of have to rely on that to a degree. But at the same time, like it can be an effective tool. Like if kids aren't acting right, like you don't want them to grow up and be little assholes, right? Anyway, sorry for cursing the internet. But ring spinners are a nice addition to have. They're generally really low profile. Right, even something like this with the buttons on it really isn't that big, that intrusive into like an EDC. It's easy to implement. It's easy to stick in like a little pocket. Most of them, you know, especially if you're not carrying buttons, are pretty light. Like even this is kind of a heavy guy, and it's not that heavy, all things considered. So ring spinners are pretty unique. I think if you don't have one, you definitely need to pick one up. Now there's a ton of options out there. You know, we did ring spinner week this week, and we kind of looked at a relatively small sampling, all things considered. I mean, you know, 10 of them are loopholes. Right, then we got a clone, the Geica from Compoform, probably my pick if I had to pick one. It's also one of the most expensive. You could get, for what it's worth, 2 or 3 of these, depending on what you're looking at for one of these. But again, for me, like I want the quality. I like what this is. I like how this looks. Love this thing. You know, we've got the Van Pelt, 2 stealths. Spinetic has a DNA line. That aesthetically doesn't do a whole lot for me. Quasar, or Quasar Halo by Fidget HQ, looks really good. What is it, Spinner Manila? I'm not sure. Has one. Voodoo by Damn Designs, and the Hex from Damn Designs, and steel flame, obviously. The list goes not necessarily on and on. It's something I think we're starting to get a little more spoiled for choice now, where before there weren't many options out there. We are starting to get some of those options now where we have choices when it comes to ring spinners. But I think you owe it to yourself to get one now. Even with larger fingers, you know, for me, I've mentioned it all this week, the 17 millimeters, the size I'm actually starting to appreciate more. Let's get this up close just because it is so gorgeous. I don't think we showed it off in 60 frames per second yet, so. Gorgeous, gorgeous spinner. The Leafy Geica. Really, really great spinner. You know, even if you got bigger hands, you know, I think I gave the feedback to Fidget HQ when they were coming out with theirs that they had, I think it was initially looking at 17 millimeter, and I kind of was pushing, you know, not pushing, but I mentioned like having a larger millimeter I think would be nice. And I think for me in particular, I think a 20 millimeter might even be a little bit better, because that'll fit over this finger a little bit better and give me, I think, a lot of what the 19 millimeter does, but also make it a little more friendly for the index finger. But then at that point, there's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to enjoy that with smaller hands. Like, I think 20 millimeters wouldn't even fit tight on my wife's thumb, for example. So you're kind of cutting yourself out. Although the Quasar has, I think it's the Quasar, or maybe it's the DNA, or maybe it's both, has different options for different, you know, different size bearings that you could put in there. And as long as the outside's the same, there's no reason you couldn't do that with these. But you can't really go larger. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm all over the place. But the point was, even if you've got bigger hands, don't look past something like a 17 millimeter, right? Even if it just fits here, as long as it fits snug, right? That's still a satisfying fidget experience. Might even be more satisfying. For me, it just doesn't fit snug, so we got to go to there. But yeah, we dig it. We dig rig spinners. Now, at first, this was the first one I got, and I liked it, and I just wasn't a huge fan of, like, really needing to pick up more. But I think there's something for them. Again, you find the right one with the right design that speaks to you, that's a huge part of it. So, and now that I look back, I'm starting to appreciate them a little bit more. So, ring spinners, y'all. They all have their place. I think everybody's got to find one that speaks to you, that you like, right? Whether you like a little bit of extra weight, you want to feel that gyroscopic effect on your finger, whether you want something small and discreet, whether you want this amazing hybrid that somehow manages to fill the blanks so sweetly. You want something affordable that you can kind of trit out. Really nice buttons. You know, this you don't really need to do anything to. It just looks kind of gorgeous. I really appreciate the look of this. It still looks like a Van Pelt, but for me isn't as kind of in your face, despite having virtually all the same things that that their larger triples and stuff have, and doubles and such. Or the always beautiful compo form. Again, my pick. But yeah, I think a spin fam needs a ring spin. I think you do. I think you need at least one. And these are just a few offerings that hopefully you know, make help you be more aware of what's out there and kind of pick something. Yeehaw. Love those big old buttons too on the compo form. Great little spinner. All right, internet. Hopefully the Black Friday shopping wasn't too crazy. If you work retail like I worked for a long, long time, I feel for you. I really do. I did it for 12 years. One of the busiest. Actually, Apple wasn't as busy on Black Friday as it was on other days, like, because they don't generally do a lot of sales, so they're still busy. But yeah. Anyway, take care of yourself and your family, and let's have a good holiday season, shall we? All right, internet. Let's bring it up. Kisses. Oh, let's bring this up too. Let's bring these two up, because these two are kind of my picks, actually. I know I was saying this one, but especially this in bronze. Really like this. Ooh, should we let them touch? How close can we get them? Am I scaring you yet, internet? Am I scaring you? How close can we get them? Aha, tricked ya! Kisses.